Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? It's all right. First things first, this is not my room before any jokes kick in. Welcome to NFTV Extra. Welcome to Facebook. Welcome to Twitch as well. We are discussing the under-23s in this video later on tonight on the main channel. We're going to be talking about the development or the lack of today. And of course, also we'll do a recap with a couple of the lads as well, just on general with the transfer window. But of course, the big news, of course, with the under-23s is that Mr. Rodrigo Vilca, that's the headline that's going to come out of it today. Newcastle are done in terms of the transfers now. We're seeing him pictured a little bit earlier on with his agents, obviously sporting the Peruvian mask. That was his agent on the left, and that's Rodrigo Vilca over on the right-hand side. Yeah, done deal. One for the under-23s, isn't it? It is a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Just plucking him out of nowhere, because even Nobby Solano's come out and said that this lad is taking him by surprise. Don't expect Newcastle fans for the world effectively. Look, if he does anything half like what Nobby Solano did at the club, of course we'll be in raptures about it. But he is signed for the under-23s. Being called up to the Peruvian squad, however, hasn't got an international cap. So I'm a little bit unsure with the work permit situation or whether he has to develop one first. I'm not 100% certain. Someone will please tell us in the comments. We'll highlight some of your comments as well. But, you know, the under-23s have had a bit of a mixed start this season. More on that shortly. But yeah, he'll come in very much in the playmaker, number 10, over on the main channel on NFTV later in the week. Got some highlight clips of him as well in his division, so he looks like he's plays in the number 10, very pacey, good feet as well. But you're seeing on the club's website that he was ecstatic to be joining the club, very emotional because obviously the COVID situation, he didn't know whether the deal was happening. It was on, it was off, and look, it's a dream move for him. Even if he doesn't ever make an appearance for the first team, you can go on and say, I was a Newcastle United player, which is mad. Jonathan Young. Hello, Jonathan. How are you doing tonight? Philip says he's a great addition to the squad. Keep your commenting as well. It's like telling your kids you got them a fake pair of trainers. Really sad not using loan options. I guess Bruce is a muppet. And you reckon Nobby brought the tunes attention to him, says Gordon, potentially. It's interesting that they've been scouting the Peruvian, because I looked on Y-Scout, which is a scout system which Premier League clubs have got, and there's not massive amounts about this lad, but he signed, he's over the line. Will any more come through with the under-23s, of course? We've got this fella, Florence in Delcio, who is currently on trial at the moment. He's had a long trial. There was rumours in France that he's had an extension to his trial for 3 weeks, and obviously Alan Saint-Maximin is very pally with him, speaks the same tongue, of course. Scored a wonder goal. This is the lad that you might have seen on the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the Twitter. Scored that worldy overhead kick, but 23 years of age, he's not going to be signed for the first team. The club have yet to make a decision on him. I guess they don't have to because he's a free agent. They can sign him after the transfer window, of course, but he's at the wrong age, isn't he? Signing a 23-year-old, because Dan Barley's the same age. But we'll keep an eye on that one with Florence in Delcio, because it's gone a little bit quiet. But we'll have to see on that. I know Bruce has talked about a 17-year-old who's currently on trial. There's no word of that as well. We're just seeing what happens with the in terms of the first team. If you're looking at the first team, just briefly, dead quickly, is that I can only see possibly one leaving, which is DeAndre Yedlin. But the Bundesliga's transfer deadline is closed now, but we'll see on that one. But yeah, a lot of the under-23s have headed out. Obviously, if I list some of these as well, which you can see on your screen now, quite a few. You've got Jake Turner in goal, who's playing regularly for Morecambe. Obviously, couldn't play against us in the AFL Cup. Mo Sangare has headed out to Accrington. About time he got a loan spell, because the lad's been in around the under-23s for a long time. And this is his first spell away. Of course, Liberian international as well. Tom Allen, big things expected of him. He's currently also out on loan at Accrington as well. Lewis Cass, which was just last week, he's headed down the road to Hartlepool. So he'll be playing loan. They got man of the match in his first game. So he's done well. He's started off well. Of course, Elliot Anderson, big things were expected of him in 12 months. He's had disappointing loan spells out of Blackpool. in Carlisle, but he's went to Almere City. I had to look this up. I even asked Brandon about it. It's in the second division of Holland, but let's hope he goes and bags 15 to 20 goals. And of course, you've got Tom Allen, whose big things are expected of him to hopefully develop it into a fine football. And obviously, he's got his Premier League debut at the back end of last season. So, yeah, these are some of the lads that have gone out on loan. It's made the under-23s a little bit weak as well. What David Wallace says, the lads look back at the last 7 days at Newcastle. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned the takeover, David. It's every week. Lawrence says you can't say you had to leave in once since we're done for signing players. Yeah, I do think we are done. But Ginger Hoskins says, what's your thoughts on not doing anything on transfer deadline day? It's to be expected. Bruce did say that he was only going to be looking at possibly a loan spell. That might still happen. We've still got, 4 hours left of the transfer window with the first team. We'll have to have a look at that one as well. Perez was initially signed to the under-21s. Yeah, Andrew spot on. Was straight into the first team, a bargain. Whatever you think of Jose Perez, $1.5 million was a bargain for him. Even though Bruce denied the report, what do you think there was any truth in getting Walcott on loan? Well, Gordon, I think if Walcott was signed, what do you do with Jacob Murphy? That's the issue. I don't think you need to bring Walcott in now that Bruce has said that he's staying. Of course, we'll talk a lot more about the first team in tonight's video, so do tune in later on tonight about the first team. But going back to the under-23s, is there any other potential lads that are coming in? Now, I want to highlight this one is Bradley Cross, because we can sign him after tonight because he's actually a free agent. He was on the books at Schalke last season. The reason why I want to highlight this is because 3 of the under-23 lads are actually following him on Instagram at the moment. Born in South Africa. I don't think a work permit's no problem because he's been based in Germany. I could see that happen. I could really see Bradley Cross coming in, but again, it gives options with the under-23s because obviously the under-23s are absolutely battered by Sunderland today, which I'm going to highlight very, very shortly as well. Mr. Sam Mulliner, evening Sam, how are you doing? And yeah, so can I do some voluntary work for the channel? Just give us an inbox, mate, on Facebook or the website, whatever's good. He's playing for the under-21s, isn't he, says Nick. Yeah, but we'll see if he gets, signed officially. Do you think Atsu will join Watford? Well, I think the thing with that, Lawrence, is with Atsu, we don't have to worry about it because we've got the 16th of October to try and get rid of Rolando Aarons, Save, potentially Lazar. Atsu's another one. There's a few which we do talk about tonight on the main channel as well. But if we have a look at also, I wanted to highlight, staying with the under-23s as well, so I want to highlight this lad. Just coming off transfers there briefly. Elliot Anderson. Now, obviously, he was on the bench last week in the EFL Cup. Didn't get off it. Don't get me wrong. He's only 17. He's just a Ben. He's got brilliant football technique. Watched him quite a bit in the under-23s last season. And the reason why I'm highlighting it is because the lad's been on form. He's already scored for the under-23s this season. He's one to watch. He's a North Shields lad. Plays for Scotland Youth. But keep an eye out on him. It's a name that you will see a lot with the under-23s. I just wanted to highlight the form of Elliot Anderson because he's absolutely been fantastic for us for good, probably 12 months now since he's been called up to the under-18s as well. And of course, we have signed someone for the under-23s a little bit earlier on this season, which was Niall Brooks, who was on the books of Liverpool, centre midfielder, who can also fill in defence as well. There's been a lot of changes with the under-23s, which we'll bring up in a second, but he scored actually in the 2-2 draw with Middlesbrough on his debut on the opening day of the season. Obviously, there is a question mark about Owen Bailey because he hasn't been featured much, but hopefully Owen Bailey does progress. But yeah, back on the subject, Niall Brookwell is in, and he was signed a little bit earlier on. So was, to be fair, Stan Flaherty, who scored as well. Stephen's mentioned this. No, he hasn't. Where have I just seen it? Lee Clark. That was it. Ginger Hoskin, yeah. I watched Lee Clark, yeah. Bobby Clark is a massive, massive one for him to watch out as well. Lee Clark's son, 15. Hope the club can develop him. He's already played with the under-18s already. So keep an eye out on Bobby Clark. Good spot, Ginger. Well done. Good spot, that. But going back to the under-23s, because this, you probably guessed, this video is all about, surprise, the under-23s. But going into the under-18s, as I'll touch upon. Now, a lot of these lads that you can see on this list, you've probably not heard much about. because the under-23s have had a massive change, especially with all the lads heading out on loan now. It's made the squad a little bit depleted. Any who's played Football Manager, you might notice some of these names. Dylan Stevenson's brilliant on Football Manager. And Stan Flaherty, as I've just mentioned. So he's just been signed from Arsenal earlier this year. So keep an eye out for him. But the one I would probably put my neck on the line is Regan Thompson. And he's also scored recently as well. I think he scored for the... Did he score for the under-18s today or yesterday? I'm sure he did. An absolute raker. Scottish Youth International was signed him in January from Queen's Park. But for the three... All these lads are now into the under-23s. But the three lads I'd recommend is Regan Thompson, Stan Flaherty, and Jude Swales, the centre-back as well, who's very, very young. So keep an eye out for them. You will see them names appear. If you don't know much about the under-23s, you'll see these lads' names appear a lot on the team sheets when the club put it out as well. Also, I want to bring up as well is the under-23 results so far this season. Bit of a mixed bag, isn't it? As I mentioned earlier on, the opening game of the season against Middlesbrough, we drew 2-2. Elliot Anderson and Brookwell touched upon those two already. They scored in a 2-2 draw. And then we played Shrewsbury's first team in the AFL Trophy, went down 3-0. Bit of a lesson. But again, with the under-18s getting called up, it's great for them playing against lower league opposition and competitive football. We came back off that and bounced back with Burnley, who were new to the league. We hammered them 3-1. Stan Flaherty got a couple. And Ludwig Francelet, who have been talked about a lot, about him potentially getting looked at in the first team, because Newcastle do have a little bit of an issue with centre-back injuries. I wouldn't be too surprised if he's on the bench once or twice this season. After that great win away at Burnley, we played Crewe in the AFL Trophy again against first-team opposition. We went down 1-0, but again, great experience. We've got one more game in the AFL Trophy to play. The lads are probably unlikely to get through, but fantastic experience for them. And then today, man. Today was a bit of a joke, wasn't it? Sunderland, bottom of the league, haven't won a game, and they turn up at the academy and thump with 4-0. I mean, what's that all about? I mean, I'm sure the Mackhams are all over Twitter loving that, but yeah, it's a bit embarrassing going down 4-0 today against Sunderland. So that is a little bit alarming for me. 100% it is. Hiya, Mike. How you doing? Nice to have you on board on Facebook as well. Keep your comments in as well. Walcott, good pace experience, can finish. Looks like he's off to Southampton, though, the last time I seen that in the last hour or so. Lawrence asks anything going on with Yannick Toure. I think with Yannick Toure, Lawrence, I think he's going to be number one. Because last season, he had a mixture of Luke Charman, Elias Sorensen. I think Toure will be just given the number one spot this season to try and get him loads of goals. And then you probably say, because Toure is a little bit younger, because he's 19, if I'm right in saying, he needs to get a loan spell probably next season. But he needs a consistent season for me to be rewarded with that loan spell. So going back to the under-23 results, we bring up the table where the currently sit in the minute. Despite Sunderland beating Wear comprehensively, which is a disgrace, how it works in the Premier League 2 Division 2 is that if you come top, which is currently Norwich at the minute, I know it's early doors. If you come top and you win your league, you get automatic promotion. And then if you come between second, third, fourth, and fifth, you'll go into a playoffs, quite similar to the Championship, where you win the right for the promotion. So Newcastle aren't far off. You're only talking a matter of, 2 points. And it is early doors. And look, as I've touched upon already, this under-23 squad has had a massive overhaul so far this season. So, like I say, keep your eyes peeled for that. And then, for just quickly touch upon, I'll come back to your comments as well in just a second, the AFL Trophy as well. Looking at this, as I touched upon already, the lads are very unlikely to get through, but as I've said once or twice already, it's great experience for the lads. If Newcastle do progress, you need a lot of things to happen in their favour. You need Bolton to beat Shrewsbury by probably a good couple of goals, and then you need Newcastle to hammer Bolton and hope Crewe win. So it's a big ask for them to get through. But as I say, Chris Hogg and his men, it's great experience for them. It's absolutely fantastic experience for them. Let's have a look before we wrap up as well. Mike says, cheers for the shout out. Thank you very much. Makes me laugh. Ajax spend 10 million on a year on their youth system and develop youth players for a team with a small budget. We can try that. Yeah, Ajax are the way. They've been like that since I got into football early 90s, when they had likes of Aaron Winter, Seedorf, David, De Boaz, Clivert, Overmars. Brilliant team. Absolutely brilliant. Not a bad start, says Jonathan, for the under-23s. Hopefully they can kick on yet. Bit of a mixed bag for them. But we'll see how that gets on. Mike says, are we going to get any loans for the first team or be finished? I personally think we're done, Mike. I think that's it. Might possibly get one loan in, but wouldn't hang your hat on that. And Shea says, yeah, Twanese, he's currently at Man United, looking to be loaned out. Maybe it's something that we go for. I think the 25-man squad for Newcastle is set in stone now. If we do bring somebody in, someone's going to have to miss out. And maybe that's DeAndre Yedlin. Who knows? Who knows? But yes, as I say later on tonight, we are chatting more about the first team, recapping the whole of the summer. So do join us later on tonight. Please like the video as well. This looks easy to present, looks easy to all put together, but trust me, it's not. It's took a good hour and a half to put all that together for a quick 15-minute video. But that is it for me. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.